speaking to you. Of course, the role has changed in the last 2 or 3 iterations of the iLaunch Media's transformation conclaves. I was on the other side, heading departments using information technology. Today I stand before you as the Secretary of IT. The role is slightly changed, but the enthusiasm and the zeal remains the same. So with that, I will not bore you with a lot of details. So I have a very specific agenda. So I have a big gathering of August gathering of large number of service providers, and as Secretary IT, it is my role to try to market my state to a lot of you to come and invest in the state of Andhra Pradesh. All of us know that the digital transformation or the transformation or the use of IT, Andhra Pradesh as one of the pioneer states in the country, and a lot of things have been done in the state. I don't want to get into that, but now I think we have matured to a level that a few IT applications here, a little bit of process re-engineering and adding an IT layer on it has really become a very normal thing that happens, and it's now become the part and participle of governance itself. So you have a digital layer or a governance layer in almost all walks of governance. What we are now trying to do is that take it to the next level with the new age technologies like AI and deep tech and all. In the next 4 to 5 years, we think that they will become absolutely part of governance without we even realizing it. Several use cases we are seeing and we are implementing where this is becoming a reality without us even realizing that certain things are happening. So with that, I think now we are moving in a very different directions in which the centrality of citizen needs to again be brought into. Now, the last 1-2 decades has been that mostly like it's a technology, per se for technology we've been using, IT project is a fancy thing. All youngsters in government who come in want to do an IT project, or the governments want to do an IT project, really fancy thing and all. Now IT projects are no longer any fancy things and all. They are like any brick and mortar thing. So for every department, for every process in the government, IT is now part and participle of the government. So that being said, now I'll spend few minutes in telling you what we are trying to do. And one of the speaker told that so a large number of databases exist in the government. They don't speak to each other for decision making. Again, there's a lot of manual processing is done. Departments exchange emails, exchange data on Excel, and try to do few things. So one thing that we have embarked on, started in the state of Andhra Pradesh, is that we have started the creation of a data lake, where all the data sets in all the departments are being brought together, and all the departments would be accessing it and also enriching the data. So the entire data tables would be created, departments would be using, and also will be contributing data to it on a day-to-day basis. All transactions of government without any exceptions will become part of the data lake, and departments will be using the data to take decisions which are as accurate as possible. I would never say 100% accurate, so we may never reach that, but as accurate as possible. The decision making would be bang on point to save time and to ensure that the citizen becomes the center of the governance. Second, one speaker was saying that today we get food delivered at home in 15 minutes. Now with all these quick apps like Blinkit and all, things are happening in few minutes and all. So why does a citizen has to go to a government office for getting his service delivered? So we started a journey on that. Of course, from a person going to government office, the services through e-Seva, then me-Seva, and now through GSW Seva, it has gone through it a lot of iterations. Now the thought process that we have is that why should you even visit any office for that matter? You have a phone in your hand, you get your services. We started thinking about that, and we have done the phase 1 of it. Now around 200 services in the government of Andhra Pradesh you can access through your smartphone by simply sending a text of hi to a predefined number. So you have a very structured response that you get. You can choose those services, and certain services you need to give in some data, and certain services you need not give any data, because the moment you send hi, because your personal details are accessed, and based on it services are delivered to you, and then it keeps on learning. So you have booked an RTC bus ticket, say from X place to Y place. You do it 3 times, 4th time, it's going to ask you, is this your first option? So that is going to be a default option for you. That kind of the learning using AI tools that we are building into that. We expect to deliver around 500 services by the end of this fiscal year, and about 1,000 services by about June. So which basically means that most of the services that government delivers, including certificates, including transactions, including other things and all, would be available on the smartphone without any application. Now we are also moving away from apps and applications and all. We wanted to keep it simple. Another thing that we have been doing in government is that why should a citizen go and search 100 websites of government to find the information that he needs to get the service that he needs? We are unifying everything. We're going to have a single search bar, and through a very natural language query, you ask for some information, and then through the same search bar, you can access information, you can access services, and also get the services delivered to you in the form that you want to be delivered. So we are moving to that kind of a ease of governance, in the sense that we want to make life easy for the government departments also. Not only that we are only looking from the citizen perspective, the government departments also. If a clerk sitting in a department, why should he break his head or understanding what is the legal precedent of a particular issue? So we are creating a repository of all these things which he can access through a query based model, where he can ask a query and then get answers for it, and then convert it probably into a government order, into a government memo or something which makes his life easier, his or her life easier. That is the way the thought process in government. We have started working on that. Probably in the next 6 to 7 months, we will see all these projects becoming a reality and make life easy both for the citizens as well as this thing. So why we are doing is that in the traditional mode, the way we are growing and all, we are all growing at 9%, 10% nationally, and in the case of Andhra Pradesh, maybe 11%, 12%, but we want to grow beyond that. So we want to become an economy by around 2047, 2050, at least 1.5 to 1.8 trillion economy, which is possible only by breaking this kind of a shackles, and going to the next level of growth can only come from multiplying what kind of things we are doing. A couple of things that we have been doing is, as I have indicated. Now I come to the part where I am trying to market the state. Recently, in the last 5-6 months, we have given out our policies for investment in the state. So we have given our Andhra Pradesh electronics manufacturing policy. We try to keep it very attractive for anybody who is coming into the state to invest. And this is general policy, but we also have a policy of structuring incentives based on the investment that you are doing. The larger the investment, we will be able to structure an incentive policy, which includes giving land, giving capital subsidies, which includes interest subsidies, power subsidies, and many other things. So we are working on that, and then the investors we welcome the investors to come in. And the second policy that we have given is the AP semiconductor and display flap policy for the manufacturers on that sector. You can go through these policies on our website, and we also have an AP IT and GCC policy for the investors in that sector, and AP data center policy, where we want to make Andhra Pradesh the new hub for the data centers. Already a lot of advanced work has happened with the big 5 companies in the world, and we expect that Visakhapatnam would become the hub of the data centers in the country. Of course, there could be a differing opinion whether you require big data centers with the new players in the market and all, but this is again a discussion point, but I invite all of you to participate in this and make the state a hub. And in fact, the talks are at very advanced stage to have a cable landing also at Vishakhapatnam to ensure that the data centers that are coming up have the infrastructure and everything ready in place, so that everything can happen and people can take advantage of. And we also are issuing a startup and entrepreneur promotion policy, in which we wanted to make it easy for the startups to come and start working. The first step is that last week we issued a order where it's a very small quantum, but it's a step in the right direction, that the entry barriers for all these startups to come and do projects in the states, we try to reduce it. So your EMD requirements, your experience requirements and other requirements, we have put it at 0. So if you are a startup and up to of course the limit is quite low, a very low bar figure, we try to experiment that. We'll keep on increasing as the market matures. So for any tenders in the state worth 50 lakh rupees, you don't have any entry requirements. You just have to be technically qualified to handle that project. So of course it's a small low ball figure. We started with that. I think we look at the market and we will increase the value of the projects as the market matures. We would expect a lot of players to come in, and we are also issuing probably in the next few days a startup policy for all these startups in the state, how startups can come, can work with us, how they can do POCs, how POCs can be converted into a real project, how a POC would be rewarded, and how when the POC gets converted into a real-time project, how incentives can be built into it, and basically celebrating the startup ecosystem and startup thinking ideology in the states. That's what we wanted to do. And I welcome all of you to, of course, many of you would have come to market your services. So I am also doing the reverse of it, trying to market the state to you. That's what I wanted to do that. And rest of the thing, a lot of speakers have spoken. One thing I can assure you in the IT sector is that Andhra, we are positioning as some state which is like it would be very easy for you to work with us. So we promise that the large number of steps in a decision making, or the so-called red tape and all, we don't believe in that, and we don't believe in silos. All the departments in the state, we work together, because we all work under the overall vision of the Honorable Chief Minister. And I did not say many things about our Chief Minister, how he works and all. All of you know that he is more like a CEO than a politician as a Chief Minister. And it's frankly speaking, it is very difficult to catch up with him. His ideas and all, the kind of ideas he gets every day and all, it's very difficult for bureaucrats to catch up with him and all, because he's always one step ahead of us in terms of his thinking, thought process, and the way he wants to expand the business in the state and all. So we welcome you, all of you, and as the host the state, I also wish you a good stay in Vijayawada, and this is a good season. So the summer season is yet to fully set in. We're just 15-20 days away from that. It's a good season to see around Vijayawada the Durga temple and places around. And I hope you are comfortable and your stay is here comfortable. And I know Vijayawada into the IT map in a small way, which we hope that we're going to expand in a bigger way and make this a good destination for all of you to come. Thank you.